What is up, everybody? It is Wig here, and I've got some items I've sold on eBay that we're going to go over. Hopefully you can learn something or at least be entertained. I actually sat down to edit a vlog where I went thrifting, and I cannot find the footage. It was a pretty good one. I actually was harassed by a thrift store volunteer. They thought I was stealing and was blocking the door, even though I was just walking by the door with things in my hand. I guess I look like a thug. But hopefully that footage is somewhere and I can eventually find it. But we got some items to look at here, and there's some books today. The first one is The Shining by Stephen King. Now, I just picked this up. I think it was the last vlog last week at the yard sales. Paid $2 for it, and I listed it for $69.99, and it sold within 5 minutes. So I thought maybe I listed it a little too low, but you know what? I did a lot of research on these because I didn't know if it was the first edition. So in the end, I believe this is the first edition, but it's not the first print run. It would have said first edition at the bottom, and when you open it up to the back, I think there's the letters RQ, like in the binding. You have to kind of pull it apart to look, and mine didn't have that. And one of the books that sold, that did have that stuff, sold for over $700. So unfortunately, I did not have the first edition, first print. However, this book was in very good condition, and there were a lot of these, the same book I had, selling for like $30, $40. I'm like, I'll price this one up to $69.99, and it sold really quick, so maybe I could have got a bit more out of it. But there was a few Stephen King books there, and I also listed Stephen King It, I picked up. I believe this was the first edition. Now, they made a lot of prints on this, I guess, so it's not as valuable. I believe this is technically the second print. The one I had, the first one, would have had the letters again, and it would have sold for like $60-some. This one I sold for $29.95 plus shipping. So I got about $35 for it, paid $2 for it. It was in a bit rougher condition than The Shining. And of course, if you've seen the vlog, I actually left a $60 book there. The Bachman Stories, I think it was. Never even heard of that one. I didn't really notice it. The GoPro footage caught it, and when I was editing the video, I'm like, I should have looked that up, or I should have bought it. I didn't even notice. Looked it up, like, yeah, you know what, I left a $60 book. Oh well. A lot of times you could pick up these Stephen King books at yard sales in lots, get them, you know, cheap. Even the ones that aren't very desirable, that don't sell for a lot of money, you can lot them up and do pretty good. One thing though, two different people bought these books and they both had zero feedback. One person had just made an account apparently just to buy The Shining, so it's kind of suspicious. And it sold within about an hour of me listing it, so it sold really quick as well. I've sold these Bible story book lots about 4 or 5 times in the past. These I picked up at Goodwill. They're in the children's section, so I think I got all 10 of these for $5, because if you buy 10 books, you get so much off. I don't even remember the exact math. But I didn't just pick these up. I picked up some other books along with it. So they ended up being about $5. And I sold them for $64.95 plus shipping. They sold extremely quick. And right now, I believe these books are a bit higher in value than what they were. In the past, I've sold them for $45, $55. This time I sold them for $65. If I had this set right now, I would probably price it at $99.99 because they were in such good condition. They did have a few crayon marks in there, I found, but physically, just amazing condition. I believe these are from the 40s or 50s. Maxwell there, Arthur Maxwell. If you see that name on any of these old books, it's worth taking a look. Because here's Bedtime Stories by Maxwell Arthur Maxwell. This is the first time me finding these and picking them up. These are in immaculate condition as well. I bought these with the Bible story books. This is only volume 1 through 5. I think it goes up to 12, maybe, if I remember right. If I had all 12, that's probably a couple $100. But I sold these for $69.98 plus shipping. I don't know why it was $69.98. I must have just mistyped. I usually don't price things at $98. But again, these ship media mail. They're heavy, but they don't cost that much to ship. I charge shipping anyway, so it's no big deal to me. But man, I wish I would have had the whole set of these. Definitely look out for these. I know I mentioned them in a haul video, and I got a comment that somebody who watches the videos found these like the next day at Goodwill or a garage sale or something, and made some money. And these sold really quick, a couple days, which is, I think, is pretty quick for paying, like, I think I paid $5 for these books. Let's keep this book train going. I picked up about 40 or 50 Goosebumps books at a yard sale, paid $7 for all of them. I did 3 different lots. This first lot is the first 13, and I priced that at $29.99 plus shipping, and it sold within the first day at some point. The other 2 lots I priced quite a bit higher because they have some more rare books, and I'm just trying to squeeze out a little extra money. If I can't get that price, then I'll go ahead and lower them down more. But yeah, that's some great profit on these Goosebumps books. I could have got a bit more. They were in kind of rough shape here. Unfortunately, if you're shopping at Goodwill, you're probably not going to find a good deal on these, because to buy these at Goodwill, that would have cost me $13 just for these 13. However, I guess, if you're buying 10, you get a discount. I think they're like 50 cents. Maybe it'd be worth it. Yard sales is the way to go, though, because you might find somebody with a whole collection and you can really make some money. Here's some shoes I picked up at Goodwill. I got these pony shoes. It's not a brand that I find too often, and it's not a brand that sells super great. And I was kind of shocked that these sold within the first day. I paid $6 for them, and I flipped them for $29.99 plus shipping. They were new open box. They still had the barb from the price tag, even though the price tag had been cut off. I don't think there's anything special about these shoes. I don't know why they sold so quick. Maybe just somebody was watching and just happened. Their size popped up and they're like, ooh, I want these. And I sold them. Another pair of shoes that sold really quick, these Sperry Top Siders. And, Sperry's are so saturated. I feel like every time I go thrifting now, I find a pair of Sperry's that are in good enough condition to sell. However, I leave them because they're nothing special, and you got thousands of people trying to sell these. I looked at the comps on these Sperry's, and I noticed there weren't a lot of people selling them. And the way I look them up, there's a number inside the shoe there, right next to the size. You just look up that number. You can see, what they're selling for, how many people have them listed. And there's only like 3 people selling this particular model, and I'm like, you know what? These are probably worth picking up for $5. Listed them for $34.95 plus shipping, and they sold really quick. Here is a vintage knife. It's Mighty Oak is the name of the brand. I found this at Goodwill for $1, and I sold it for $24.95. I also found more knives. I sold those. Took a bit longer to sell those, but this one right here, the butcher knife, or I guess it's not a butcher knife. What would this knife be called? It was a large one. It was heavy. You pick it up, and you feel the quality. But there's a few dozen brands of vintage good knives to look for. And they're just usually Goodwill thrift stores. They usually just throw them in like a bin or something. You have to dig through them. It's worth looking for the good stuff, because I sold the other knives. I probably made about $70 some on all the knives in the end. Here's another thing that I picked up. These Kohler Parts. The bag was sealed. The bag was dirty, but I found it at Goodwill for $3. And Kohler Parts can be pricey, so I went ahead and listed it on eBay for $37.95, free shipping because it shipped first class. Ended up going to Puerto Rico, and it sold within, I think, about 30 minutes, if I remember right. So it sold really quick, and I made a decent profit on it. Here's another thing I got at Goodwill. A lot of people, pass this kind of stuff up because there's not great profit. It takes some time. It's not exciting. But you know what? I paid $1 a piece for these. I looked them up, and I said, oh, they're only selling for like $6 or $7 a piece. Paying $1 after shipping, you're not making much money. But what if I did a lot of 3? Because these things are so light, I can put them all in one envelope. I'm paying about the same shipping for 3 as I would just paying for the 1. Listed them for $19.99, and they sold really quick. Somebody got a deal, and I made some money. Only about $9 or $10 after, fees and shipping and cost, but still, it only took me maybe 10 minutes to list these. And you got to think that if you can list 10 items like this every hour, you're making about $90 to $100 an hour for your listing work. It's pretty good. So I always pick up stuff like this. Here's something else I always pick up: Yannick's badminton rackets, vintage ones anyway. Certain ones, especially these Carbonex ones. I picked up 4 different rackets at a Goodwill. I paid 99 cents a piece for them. I got 2 of them I don't even have listed. I listed this one. It sold within about a week, but I think that's still fast for an item like this. Somebody bought it internationally, probably paid like $40 to have it shipped. I sold it for $79.95. So paying $1 for it, that's great. The other one I have listed currently, I think I have priced at like $180. Got a lot of watchers. I think it will sell fairly quick as well. Then the other two, I think I can get $50 to $80 for as well. They were in my pile to list, right? And I ended up bringing in a bunch of clearance, and I had to push those back to the side to make room, and they just ended up getting buried back there. And I know where they are, and that's how death piles get formed, right? You buy so much stuff, you don't get to it in time, you buy more stuff. Eventually I'll get those other rackets listed, I swear. But Yannick's a great brand to look out for, especially the older stuff. You can make some great profit. And there you have it, some items that flip really quick on eBay. If you're buying the right stuff, you can make money really quick. But don't be scared to buy the things that may sit for a month or two, or maybe even a year. I would be happy to spend 99 cents on this racket and wait a year to get 80 bucks for it. Not everything sells the first day. You just got to keep buying. You got to fill your store. You got to have money tied up in it. That's going to do it for the video, everybody. Hit that like button for me on the way out. Be subscribed. I really appreciate everybody who watches and leaves the comments and hits that like button. But I got to go list some more stuff. Maybe I'll list those other rackets. I want to get at least 20 listings done today. Also got to edit this video. The hustle never ends. This has been Wick. Until next time.